My name is Kim Lund, and I am your off-camera host for the rest of this evening. And right now, from the Civil Engineering Department, I have Dr. Hansen, who is a professor here at Rose-Hulman, and I have a student athlete and civil engineering student here at Rose-Hulman named Kira. And so they're available for all of your questions. And I actually wanted to, since Kira is a student athlete here at Rose-Hulman, I actually wanted to start with you and let you also answer a question. We had a student from mechanical engineering who wants to play soccer here, but this is true for all of our engineering programs and for all of our student athletes. How hard is it to juggle your sport with your degree?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of great benefits to being a student athlete. I also play soccer here. And I think it's a great opportunity to be able to go to school and get such a good education and play a sport. But I think time management is the biggest thing. Being able to know that you're going to focus on your studies, you're going to get your homework done, and go to practice in the evening. If you want to make it work, it is very manageable. You just got to be on top of your schoolwork, which I think is you can manage while you're here. So,
do you find that there are a lot of student athletes in your program?
Yeah, I think there's quite a significant amount. I know that some of my classmates are on the football team, volleyball, there's some golf, almost all the different sports are represented within our department. So I think that's been a cool opportunity to connect.
Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you, Kira. Okay, so here's a great question. How would you recommend high school juniors or seniors to prepare for civil engineering as their major? Are there some programs that they should learn or books the students should read before applying?
Let you take this first, and then I'll chime in.
Okay. When I personally came into Rose, the kind of background I had was I had taken some physics classes through my high school, some advanced math courses, so pre-calc, calculus, and then just kind of gotten involved with other sciences, so chemistry, biology. So I didn't have a lot of, I guess, engineering-related courses, and I found that that transition was okay into school, and I learned everything I needed to know here. So,
yeah, I would say take the most challenging courses you can. Grow yourself. Discover whether you have a passion for being stretched, because if you come here, that's what we're going to do. We're going to help you grow, and we're going to help stretch you. But is there some, I've got to study this book, or I got to read this, or I've got to take that class? No, as long as you take the prerequisite courses that the admissions office is looking for, the rest is chase your passions. Especially in our field, civil engineering, you can blend any passion with the technical side and spin that into a career. If you enjoy reading, if you enjoy history, if you enjoy English, if you enjoy theater, whatever it is, you can blend those and use them, leverage them to help propel your career.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. This is related, but a little bit different. From an admissions perspective, where should test scores be? Loaded question there. And are there high school classes that students should take, and anything else they should be aware of?
Ooh, okay. So scores, I will point out, we are test optional. So there is no requirement to submit. You can. Is there a typical SAT or ACT score? I have no idea. I'm fortunate enough to say the faculty do not weigh in on those decisions. So should you have, by the way, follow-up questions after this evening, you feel free to reach out to me, and I can answer questions that you may feel like, I don't want to tip my hand to admissions office. Nope, that's okay. We keep that separate here. Now, what was the other half of that question?
Which high school classes should students take to prepare for civil engineering from an admissions perspective? And if you don't know, I can answer this as well.
So why don't you hit on the
Yeah.
expected, and then we'll fill in with the
Perfect.
Where to go next.
Perfect. So for admission to Rose-Hulman, you are required to take 4 years of math. You really need to get through pre-calculus at a minimum, but we do highly recommend getting through at least one semester of calculus on your way. The more, the better. But the requirement's 4 years math. You are also required for admission to Rose-Hulman to have a full year of high school biology, physics, and chemistry. Because when we admit students to Rose-Hulman, regardless of that major, we admit you for all of our majors. So everyone has that same background. And of course, the 4 years English, 2 years social sciences. But the key is those those three science classes and the 4 math. And then to prepare for civil engineering, what would you guys recommend to add to that?
I think, like Dr. Hansen said, take classes that interest you, that challenge you. I took a drafting course my freshman year, and that kind of spiked my interest in civil engineering. So take the classes that sound interesting and can give you that opportunity, I think.
Yeah, I agree. And so I want to reiterate, it doesn't have to be a science math based additional course that you use to stretch yourself and show your passion. If it's psychology, it's history, it's human interaction, whatever, all of those can blend and help make you a better civil engineer. Chase your passions, and we'll help you envision how that fits into your career path.
Fantastic. What sort of hands-on learning experiences can students expect from civil engineering classes?
Oh, why don't you pick some of your favorites, and then I'll fill out the round.
I think some of the earliest experiences I can remember, first quarter coming to Rose, we had a intro to surveying. So right away that first week we're in lab, we're out on the front quad on campus, using equipment, measuring distances, just kind of fully launching into the field of civil engineering. And I think that was something really cool to experience right when coming to Rose. And then kind of progressing past that, we've been able to use different labs on campus, mechanics and materials. We'd learn about something on the board and we'd turn around and there was testing equipment in the back of our classroom. So we could just see, not only go from learning it like theoretically or on the board, but go to see it immediately after. So I think that we have a lot of cool different facilities and opportunities that we use in a lot of different classes in our major. So
I love that Kira hit on that. We have intentionally built some of our classrooms to be combined classroom and lab so that you don't have to have a unique lab section to go along with your courses. So all of our classes, if there's hands-on things we want to do, you just turn around, we pull it out of the closet, or we've got the test equipment right there. And so within 50 minutes, we can get very hands-on, experience the phenomena, go to the board, do some examples. So it's not one or two things, it's just about everywhere in the curriculum.
Yeah, awesome. All right, we have a lot of students asking questions about the Rose Squared program.
Oh, fantastic.
So I was going to let you just kind of talk about it.
Sure. So there's a lot of layers to that. There are certain career paths that the marketplace will generally prefer a master's degree. Okay. That's not true for all career paths. There's not a requirement in order to get a job. Okay. But you may discover as you get deeper into your coursework, hey, I really like this aspect of civil engineering, and in order to do the challenging level projects that I want to do, the companies tend to want somebody with a master's degree. Rose-Hulman offers master's degree in structural engineering right now and engineering management, and we're looking to make additional additions over the next few years. And the idea being, you can, if you have enough advanced credits, whether they be AP, dual credit, or something you transfer in, we'll take a look at those transcripts, and rather than running out of undergraduate credits somewhere partway through your senior year, we'll put together those openings and you'll start taking your master's courses. If you come in with enough credits, we'll get you out of here in those 4 years with your bachelor's and your master's. If it turns out, I don't quite have enough credits for that, that's okay. If you need an extra quarter or 2 quarters, we'll work with you to get you through and done still with a master's degree at 4 2/3 years. Should not take you longer than that, no matter how many credits you come in with.
Fantastic. Do you have an idea about how many students at Rose-Hulman take advantage of the R squared program and how successful they are to graduate in that 4+ years?
Okay. Across all majors, I couldn't give an exact percentage, but we have over 100 interested students right now, and that might have been in the most recent incoming class. Now, how many of them will follow through as they get into their 4th year? Not all 100, but that's a lot of folks that have interest. The ones that want to take that path, when you start getting into Y3, your 3rd year, and you're like, okay, this is really what I want to do, all of the ones we've worked with in civil engineering, once they say this is what I want to do, they complete that path. Are they able to place? Absolutely. They are getting jobs and starting right after, even if it's finish at 4 1/3 years or 4 2/3 years, the marketplace wants them and they're getting scooped up.
Fantastic. I think you're going to like this question. It leads right into what you just left off. Is it easier to get a job after graduating as a mechanical engineer or as a civil engineer?
Rose-Hulman does a great job pairing its students with employers. But I'll go ahead and tell you, civil engineering is the fastest place major on this campus, has been for several years, and will be again this year.
Yeah. And
that is not going to change anytime soon. The market is desperate for civil engineers.
Yeah.
Don't choose it just because it's got good career placement. But if this is what you love, have no fear. You will have opportunities.
I keep hearing that there are more job opportunities for civil engineers than we are graduating civil engineers
Absolutely
right now. That's
true.
what I've been hearing lately. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see. Let's do this one. What kind of internships are available for our civil engineering majors?
Why don't you start with that?
Yeah. I've kind of found that in the whole wide realm of civil engineering, that there's various different opportunities. We have a great career services program at the school. They're able to recruit and have companies come to the career fairs that can pretty much offer you anything from structural, site development, water resources, environmental. I'm kind of more interested on the structural side of things, and I've gotten an opportunity to work in like marine environments. I'm going to be working in bridge engineering this summer. So just various different opportunities, and the career services is really helpful in terms of helping place that. So.
Oh, absolutely. And plus your academic advisor will be a civil engineering faculty member, and they can also help identify, hey, I want to go back home my first summer. And well, maybe if your home is not where companies that come to career fair are from, we know how to help you find those opportunities, even for companies that have not engaged with Rose. The market wants you. We can point you in the right direction.
That's a great thought there. And it kind of leads into this next question. I have students particularly interested in jobs on the West Coast. So do we have employers from the West Coast come to our Rose-Hulman career fairs? And do we have any idea what percentage of our students end up working more on the West Coast?
Ooh, percentage, I do not know.
Yeah.
But we have graduates taking positions each year coast to coast. So we do have graduates on the East Coast. We have graduates in the Southeast. We have graduates in the Southwest. We have graduates on the West Coast. We have graduates that stay here in the Midwest. And companies from coast to coast do come. But again, if it turns out, I really want to be back in Northern California, okay. Your faculty know some companies directly, and we also know how do you get into companies that maybe haven't connected with career services yet. Well, we'll coach you through, no worries.
Okay. On the same topic, are there easily available international programs and opportunities for engineering? And if so, is that encouraged?
Ooh, okay. So if you want to study abroad, per se, we're going to work with you. Right? Let your advisor know when you walk in the door, hey, I've got background in Turkish, and I want to go study in Turkey. Okay, then we will help you identify where might you want to go study, what courses might you take, and which term should you take off here. Pick your language, or if you I don't speak anything other than English, need to stay English. Okay, fantastic. We have a formal partnership with the University of Limerick in Ireland. And so if you say, hey, that's the experience I want, great. There's a particular quarter where we know what courses you'll take and we know how they will map up with our curriculum. And we've had several students over the years go participate in that program. We have 3 interested in going this next fall, and they all come back saying, wow, that was absolutely amazing.
Fantastic. Are there wrong one. This is for you, Kira.
Okay.
How large was the transition in terms of academic load from high school to Rose-Hulman, specifically compared to advanced STEM classes?
Yeah. So I took IB in high school, so very, very similar to AP, and taking kind of those rigorous courses. I felt that the transition into college was pretty smooth. I think that that first adjustment in terms of maybe living in a new place, being around new people, new classmates, new professors, everything, that is an adjustment. But I think that you have a lot of resources on campus to help you make that adjustment easier. Like professors are well aware. There's great support staff. So I think that it's not something to be scared of. It's something to kind of just embrace and it's the new challenge. And
can you describe what was it like transitioning? Because in public school or in high school, everything was semester based, and here at Rose-Hulman, we are quarter based. So things come at us a little bit faster here. So can you describe the quarters and how that works and how that felt changing to that pace?
So the quarters here are 10 weeks and then 1 week of finals. I personally really love kind of the fast-paced environment. For somebody who really enjoys learning, it's been great to be able to transition from having maybe 3 to 5 classes one quarter and being able to transition into maybe a new subject the next. So I found that it's really cool, and I feel like I get more opportunities to learn and more different topics to kind of reach in the quarter system as opposed to maybe a semester system. So
I love your answer, and you left out the most important thing. So 10 weeks of classes, 1 week of finals. What happens next? Week 12.
Get a break.
You're off for a week.
Yep.
And then you rinse and repeat, right?
Exactly.
Thank you. I have a student who would be coming here from a big city. So the student wants to know, we met the social scene at Rose-Hulman.
Oh, you get to
I know. I looked at Dr. Inza for a second just to see if he wanted to touch on this one.
Yeah. So I actually came from somewhat big city. I'm just outside of Seattle, Washington. So definitely a transition from out on the West Coast to Rose-Hulman. I think that the biggest thing I love about Rose-Hulman here is just the community. While it is on the smaller side, I love being able to see people in my classes, maybe in my sports, different clubs, different activities, and I'm able to recognize so many faces, be able to wave at people, have people to go to lunch with. I think that there's a lot of benefits to kind of having that kind of smaller, tight-knit community. For example, my senior class of civil engineers, we've all developed kind of a bond over the 4 years and really gotten to know each other as people and offer lots of support. You have people to do homework with, to study with, all these different things that I think having kind of a smaller community is definitely really beneficial. So,
very nice.
Well, and if I can build on that, coming from a major metropolitan area, you go out to do. Terre Haute is not a major metropolitan area, so our student affairs office instead does a tremendous job bringing lots and lots of activity in here to you. Now, that comes with a little bit of a double edge. That means there are going to be temptations and things you can do and you're going to want to do. You can't say yes to all of them. You've got to give your academics its due. If you want to do athletics and academics, then you have to say no to some things. But there is lots going on this campus at all times, and that really helps make up for this sense of, wow, we're not in the middle of a city. Yeah, that's okay.
That's a great way to think about it. That's awesome. Okay, what is the civil engineering curriculum like for the incoming freshmen? What can an incoming freshman expect curriculum-wise?
Let me try grabbing hold of that. So here I already talked about there's surveying in the fall. I mean, there's the math courses, the science courses, the humanities, social science, and arts courses. Those are the same for everybody. But when you're a civil engineer, fall, you'll take surveying. Winter, you'll take a drafting course and global information systems course. And in the spring, you start some of your technical mechanics coursework, and you have our introduction to design, where you will start interacting with real clients and trying to wrap your head around what's the core issue and how do we address the problem solving process. That package gives you marketable skills right off the bat. So that first summer, you can do an internship actually applying some skills to help out a company and to start exploring what this field is.
Great. The focus of the course curriculum is based on engineering. What is the caliber of the non-engineering courses?
You want to talk about some of your favorite HSSA courses?
Yeah. So kind of some of the HSSA courses I've taken here, I've taken language. So I was able to take Spanish. I've taken some English courses, some arts courses. The one thing I really like about the humanities department here is that there is so many different courses you can take and so many different offerings. If you want to kind of structure that to what your interests are, I found that pretty easy to do. For example, I'm not as interested in maybe history as I was in language, so I was able to kind of tailor my schedule towards language a little bit more. But I think in terms of caliber, the professors know that you're engineering students, and they try to kind of, maybe they'll relate some stuff back to engineering, but they also try to kind of broaden your perspective on things. So writing is an extremely important skill to have in engineering. You have to be able to communicate your ideas very well. So they're going to help challenge you to improve your writing skills and kind of touch upon the things you might not get in your engineering courses.
So are the standards lower because it's for a STEM school? Absolutely not. But do they recognize that tying your humanities, your social sciences, your arts to things so you can see the application to your technical field? They recognize that and they tailor that. The other thing that our HSSA department has done really well is to make it so that very few of those courses have a prerequisite chain where you have to take this one, then that one, then that one. That's another thing that would not be true in a place where we had history majors, for example, or art majors. So that's a benefit of taking those courses here on this campus.
That's a great point. I'm going to end with one final question, just to kind of sum everything up. What makes Rose-Hulman's civil engineering program different from other schools' civil engineering program? What makes us unique?
You want to start that and I'll finish?
Yeah. I think one of the things that makes it super unique, we touched on a little bit earlier, is just that ability to have hands-on learning during your courses. And I think one thing that I've really enjoyed is having kind of those smaller class sizes. Over the 4 years, I've really gotten to know my classmates, my professors, and kind of have that community environment. That entire tie-in has made my education and my experience a really great opportunity to collaborate and kind of learn the skills that have been extremely helpful in kind of looking into the workforce.
Building off of that, because that's exactly it at the core, but adding words to it. We're not about just an education. We're about helping you prepare for a career. And in our department in civil environmental engineering, our goal is to help you discover your ceiling is here when you think it's here. And if I'm going to help you get beyond where you think you can be. It's going to be uncomfortable. And that means I have to help motivate you. And I need to know when you're getting close to that. I need to be able to see when the discomfort is, okay, maybe we need to back off. The only way I can do that is to be at a school where teaching is my first priority and my class sizes are small enough that I can know each of you individually, because your ceiling might be here and that other person's ceiling is down here. And I'm trying to get each of you to reach your ceiling, as opposed to here's this low bar that everybody has to get over, or here's this ridiculous bar, and if you don't get it, I don't care. No, I care. My whole team wants you to discover you can do so much. And then when you go out into the workforce, you just shine and soar. That's the goal. That's what makes us special.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Dr. Hanson and Kira. This concludes Tuesday night's live video chat on mechanical and civil engineering.